See it, say it, believe it, yeah. See it, say it, believe it, yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. We are Tristan and Michael, and you are listening to Fuse, transparent conversations for marriage, family, and relationships. We invite you to join us as we discuss perspectives that are thought about but not talked about. So tell your friends and family to check us out. And of course, join us on social media at fusemarriages.com. All right.
What's going on today?
It's a good day.
It is a good day. You know what I mean? I try to make every day a good day. 2021, we kicking it off. We still in January, but, you know, a lot of transition has happened. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of transition. New Year's goals and resolutions and such.
All that stuff, right? We got, you know, people trying to move and getting some normalcy back to life, trying.
Yeah. Yeah. But 2020 was a rough one. So,
yeah. So hopefully we get back this year. You know, sometime later this year, we can get back to like a sense of normalcy. At least it'll probably be a new normal.
Yeah, but definitely. Definitely for a lot of us.
Yeah. But you know what? Today, welcome y'all. You know what? Like, subscribe, you know, share, comment. You guys have gave us definitely some great insight. Follow us on social media, all those good places, you know. Just to be tracking with y'all. Y'all track with us.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. But today we are going to talk about, I think, you know, it's interesting.
Lord, whenever you say that.
No, it's interesting, but I think it needs to be talked about. We're going to try to at least start the discussion. Okay. Hopefully they can finish it.
Okay.
You know, it's not our job to finish every discussion, but we're going to just, you know, put a flashlight on it and we're going to cut it off.
All right.
All right. But it's talking about fake relationships. Right.
Okay.
And I think it stems from fake people.
Okay.
And like you often see, you know, it's really hard for like, I mean, as a couple, say you're even not even married yet, or you could be married and you're trying to emulate somebody and really understand, you know, what a woman should be, what a man should be. But you really like, you don't really understand like who that person is all the time. Right. And a lot of times, you know, particularly with social media, you don't see the bad, which you're not supposed to, but you don't necessarily, you see what they glorify, right? Them all lovey-dovey, the kids looking all nice and kempt and, you know, well-maintained. They ain't showing you like when the oatmeal on the floor and she hollering at him talking about, hey, get your drawers out the floor.
That doesn't happen in our home.
Yeah. But like you don't oftentimes see that.
Right. I see where you're going. Yeah.
And like, if I'm trying to like, you know, give somebody a complete picture, not necessarily you got to know like every single demon that I've been fighting with, even the demons in my own bed. But you have to be able to like, okay, you know what? There's some good, there's some bad,
right,
and then there's some better.
Hey, yeah,
right. And like, it's hard to really like, you almost have to like blaze your own trail when you're trying to say, okay, who do I mirror for a good relationship? Because if you try to mirror all the good part, then you don't know the bad part. You can be like, okay, what's wrong with you? Yeah. You know, Sally don't do that. You know, she cooking and
yeah. So there's actually a couple things that you're talking about here. So you're talking about one, our models, like who it is that we look up to or esteem for an example of what this thing should look like. Yeah. And then the second part you got into is the actual person that you're in a relationship with, like who really are they? And I think that that's a really kind of interesting way to have this conversation, because these are two distinctly different kind of conversations. But if you don't get them right, you're messed up either way. So if you don't really get to know the person, then your relationship is jacked up. And if you don't have a good model for, okay, now we're in a relationship, we know each other, but what do we do from here? Right. You know, then your relationship gets jacked up. And I think that because of that, it's let me start with the model side of things. Okay. I think a lot of people, depending on the age at which you get married, you can say like, I'm grown, you know, and I think that that's a conversation. Like you hear a lot of people talk about mentorship and you need to have a mentor. And then there's a lot of, number one, there's a lot of people that should and could be mentors that aren't. And then there's a lot of people that should and could be mentees. And they're like, nah, I got too much going on. I got, you know, too much life. And we really do need that example. We really do need to be able to see marriage emulated. The challenge comes, depending on who you pick as your mentor, with how much say that they have in your life and in what way. So what I mean by that is they should be able to say, you know what, you should consider this, but they shouldn't be able to criticize your steps if you're not doing them properly. So I'm gonna put this out there. This is Tristan. I do not think that your parent should be your mentor. They should be your parent. Okay. So you can't say like, well, I mean, a lot of us go into it with that as maybe the basis, whether you were raised in foster care or you had a blended family or you had a single parent household or you had a historically nuclear family, whatever that is. The challenge can become, I want my relationship to look like what I saw in my home or not to look like what I saw in my home. But what that means is that now my partner is exactly like, you know, the spousal relationship that I saw in my home or not what I wanted. So what you do end up doing is projecting on to your spouse this thing that I see. So, hey, I have a mentor. They're great. We need to look like them. We need to do this. And you don't know what they went through to get to that point. You know what I mean?
No, 100% agree. I think, that's definitely a tough one for a lot of people, either, especially the people may have, like, say, I had a good mother, or I had a good dad, and I want you to be, if I'm a woman, I want you to be like my dad. Or if I'm a guy, I want you to be like my mom. And if you thought they were, that ideal in your head of what was good, then you absolutely are going to project that. And I think you have to kind of figure out a way to really kind of separate the two, right? I mean, but to me, if we're talking about how fake, like you saw your mother, if I'm a guy, I saw my mother, I saw her ideally in a lot of different scenarios. Coming up as a kid, I want my woman strong like that. I want my woman to be able to, nurture like that. I want my woman to be able to grind like that. And like, I think it's difficult, right, to kind of figure out like, okay, you know what, this is what my new spouse is, and this is what my mother is, and I don't want to mix the two.
But I think that's where some of that fate comes in, because some folks, they see what their parents, a lot of us, even as parents, like we don't want our kids to see everything.
Yeah, that's true.
So you say, hey, I want my wife strong like that. I never saw my mom crying. And you crying like, I don't understand. Well, part of that was your mom kind of faking the funk
That's
for
true.
you.
That's true.
You don't see her crying because she's not crying in front of you. Like,
Preach!
oh, I want, my mom had dinner on the table when I came back. Well, now look, we're going to pick up something on the way and it's going to be there because I still have to y'all got to get fed, but I can't fake the funk. I can't be like, oh, okay, because you don't know how that happened, what was going on. Like my parents, they never argued. They had a beautiful marriage. Man, behind those closed doors, they sure could have been.
I've going at it.
Going for real. But they came out as a united front because they didn't want, a contentious environment. So that's part of the muck that we have to kind of wheel through when we get married and when we're dating. It's like, okay, it might not. Like my dad might have got under the car. That might not be what you do. We might be sending the car off to a shop, but you can't project, well, why can't you do this? Why didn't you do this? Because some of that is just a facade. And I also heard it this way too, is that when you're dating, you date the twin. Have you heard this before?
No, talk to me.
Okay, so when you're dating somebody, you're dating their twin. They look just like them. They smell just like them, but they're the twin. They're the one that looks a particular way so that you can, maneuver through the dating relationship. But then it's the other side of things.
Right.
Hey, y'all, we just wanted to take a quick break and thank you for listening. We appreciate your support. So if you haven't yet, make sure that you subscribe, follow us on all social media. And we have this thing that we want you to check out. FusedRadio.com. There are other broadcasters that you will hear from. You're really going to love it. So thank you. You all are so wonderful. And we look forward to connecting with you more in the future. Welcome back. Okay, so we're talking about the dating and how you can find yourself dating the twin, or you're dating the fake person, right? So one of the things I wanted to point out too is that is not necessarily intentional. Like you can find yourself dating the twin and just being like so caught up, so in love, so wanting to present the best of you, that you present this person that is not the totality, which I think a lot of us know, right? Like I think we know that we're not dating all of them. And sometimes we kind of move really quickly through that process and find out a little soon, like, hold on, who is this dude or who is this chick? But then the other side of it is that person, well, at least in my opinion, so you might think differently, or some people, like they say, like, man, they tricked me. Like I didn't know they were like this, or they didn't show this, or they didn't act this way before. So would you say, my question, I guess, would you say that is somebody that is like faking the funk, like on purpose? Or do you say like that's just them just being in love?
I think there's two different types of people, right? You have the people that are actually faking it.
Okay.
Then you got the ones that are putting their best foot forward. You know, you say the twin, so people say they're marketing themselves. You say the marketed person. And it's like, okay, if the person is like trying to put their best foot forward, you know what I mean? They're trying to like, they want to impress. She wants to impress. He wants to impress. But can he sustain that, or can she sustain that?
Yeah.
And then you have the person that's like, you know what? They literally like are sweeping stuff under the rug.
Yeah, intentionally.
They ain't gonna tell you about, everything, every dude they been with. They ain't gonna tell you about, the thug they used to date. They ain't gonna tell you about,
Who you talking about right now?
I ain't talking about nobody. It just may have happened to some people, you know what I mean? People got lives they live. It's just part of their story. So they try to hide that part of the story.
I'm just making sure, because I felt a little heat coming.
No. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? So some people do that, and I think that's the part, or at least the type of person I'm like, okay, hold on now. You sweeping it, you try to hide it, like completely try to hide it. Some people forget it. I hadn't forgot some stuff I didn't did. That's bad.
That's what he told me.
You know what I mean? I didn't forgot, but you know what I mean? But like in reality, I started thinking about like, okay, you know what? But once we started talking about it, it kind of came out like in conversation, but like life goes on, years go on. Right. Like literally it wasn't trying to, in my opinion, I wasn't trying to hide it. It was just, you know what? Hey, it was out of sight, out of mind. So I literally have moved on in my life.
Yeah. I mean, I know that happens. I tease you about it, but I think sometimes things happen that either happened so long ago, or you've had so many experiences since then. It's like trying to recall something that was inconsequential can be challenging, but sometimes it is required, and sometimes it's just like, why are we digging really? Like, what's the purpose? But if it's purposeful, I think it's important. But another thing I wanted to make sure that we get into, as we're talking about, okay, there are these kind of dating fake people. What happens? We talked about, trying to emulate with mentors, fake people. I would love to hear your perspective about fake friends.
Fake friends?
Yeah.
What about them? Okay, no, what is that?
What about your friends?
That's TLC.
Yeah.
That's song I was thinking about. But
yeah. I don't know what song you
It was something else. But, fake friends.
No new friends.
Huh?
No new friends. No.
Right. What song was that?
Okay.
It's like,
never mind. Clearly, when we switch up the genres for you. But so fake friends, like, I think sometimes we, just male and female, can become really jaded from being from fake or phony relationships. Either they started that way, and that was the intention, or they evolved into something like that.
So, like, be honest with you, I'm just gonna be just real honest.
Okay.
That's not a male problem. Most of us men, we don't have fake friends. It don't even like get to that point where we can say, oh, he fake. If we even sense that he might be, we just gonna slide back. Okay, cool. Let's, I'm not gonna, and he not part of my inner circle.
Okay.
But I noticed a lot of females, y'all talking about, oh, she fake. She ain't really being real.
Not y'all.
See, you a female, so I'm just saying y'all from that standpoint, not maybe you, but females in particular, it seems like y'all had that problem a lot more than men have it. Wouldn't you say?
I would you, I guess that's what you saying.
No, I mean, would you agree? I mean, you may disagree.
I don't think it's a gender problem. I think there are fake people everywhere. I think depending on what area of life you're in. I would say like a lot of people, like if you're an athlete, you were an athlete, you know, are too still athlete. But if you're an athlete and you playing, like, let's say you playing basketball in school, you might have like some people around you saying like, they just around you to get like your runoff, like whatever that is. Like, oh, you getting, you know, the ladies, I'm gonna be around just in case you decide you don't want one.
We know that though, typically. You know what I mean? And we cool with that. You know what I mean? We know the homeboy that's like, he just there for the moment. You know what I mean? Whether we, you know, like I said, I didn't reach a certain level or I got a certain level of influence. It's not a surprise. So we don't even really trip off of that because we kind of know it. We say, you know what? We ain't gonna worry about it. We know who he is, know what he about. I rarely see guys talk about, man, I can't believe he hanging around me.
That's because you know he's fake.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but it's not an issue for most men. You know what I mean? We know what that's about already.
So you're saying we're just not as aware.
I don't know if y'all just not as aware. I can't speak from a woman's standpoint. Just from my observation on the outside looking in, it seems like y'all are more trusting with other women and to let them get close enough to even know your business about even the little stuff. And then y'all really don't really know if they should be in that circle or not.
Yeah, I think that's a kind of a personality thing because there are also, you can get labeled as being fake for being, you know, inconsistent. You can be labeled fake for not, you know, showing up at something. Like there's a lot of things that you can get that label for. And I wouldn't say that they're necessarily wrong or right. I think some of that can be based on personality. Like two different personalities might not be considered to mesh well.
Right.
And one person might think, well, that personality, oh, they're fake. And they just might just not be like you.
Right.
You know?
True enough.
Or you could have somebody that's really image conscious. Like, okay, they get up, they do their thing to make sure that they look a particular way. And somebody could look at them and be like, oh, they so fake. Maybe they just care about how they look. Like, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're fake. So I don't know. I think that it does get kind of tossed around. So if y'all don't deal with that in terms of, now that we're kind of talking about gender, in what way do you deal with fake people? Like, is it one of these categories or is it outside? It's
probably, I mean, don't get me wrong, like you said, I think you're right. I think we do as men, we deal with a level of fakeness even around other men, but we typically pick up on it. And typically fake dudes hang around each other. You rarely see a fake dude hang around a real brother. You just don't see that often.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We can go out in your mind, go through all the real dudes you know.
I'm like,
what fake dude you know that's hanging around them? Now they'll talk to them and maybe you know have conversations and talk about sports and politics, but like we come to the real, they not. You know what? They keep them at a distance.
Okay.
And it's just, you know what? Just know what it's about. I'm not trying to knock who he is, what he's about, but they keep him at a distance.
Okay.
I think the fakeness that the most fakeness that men deal with is probably in relationships, right? When you're talking about dealing with a woman, if you're trying to figure out, okay, what she's about, and really probably in this case, talking about both people probably paying a level of fakeness. We put that in quotes, right? But he's trying to decipher, okay, especially if he reached a certain level in life, does she really love me for me? She love me for what I have.
Yeah, that's real talk. This reminds me, I'm listening to you talk, and it reminds me of this episode of Fresh Prince. Okay, you might remember it, but I think they get stuck like in the basement or something, and he's in there, and he has like a song. He's like something da 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 da. Can't tell me how she feels. Remember?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, she's like in the basement with him, and he thought that she was just so fine. Okay, if y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all let us know because I cannot remember how the song goes. I'm gonna find it though. But y'all hit us up and let us know at Fuse Marriages. Okay, so he's like, oh man, she's so fly, she's so fine, and they in the basement, and she starts taking off layers, like she starts taking off her hair, taking off her nails, and he's like freaking out because she's like, who is this?
Yeah,
it wasn't who he thought. And I've actually heard men. So we're going to have to talk about this now. I've actually heard men talk about, like, she's fake if she's not, like, all natural. Like, if she's got anything going on. So if she wears the fake lashes, if she wears the hair, if she wears the makeup, if she wears the nails, all of that, they say, that's fake. You don't know what you're getting. I would love to hear, sir.
Oh, man.
What your thoughts are about that.
That's an excellent topic. There's another movie, people, I'm going to get you, sucker. You not even know it. Keenen Ivory Wayans. Anyways, it's
I know it.
A similar scene where she starts popping off everything, and the last part, she pops off her leg.
He's clearly remember.
Hey, I see him. She pops off her leg. He takes off running. And he comes out. He said, "What was wrong? What was wrong?" "I was whistling, man. I was whistling." Basically, he wanted nobody to know he was screaming and was scared of this woman. It's like, anyway, I was thinking about that. But you know what? So what's your question? Made me lose my thought thinking about that movie. About fake, what you saying? You're saying about
image.
Women, maybe, you know.
Is that considered fake?
I don't think it's considered fake. Okay. I think fake is a mentality, right? Mm-hmm. If it's something that you have to hide and you're like, you know what, nobody can't see me in a certain way, then I think that could potentially be seen as fake. I understand you don't want everybody to see in a certain way. I ain't got no, that's like, you know what I mean? I don't want anybody to see me, I'm unshaven or whatever, you know what I mean? I got just, certain, situations, I'm not going to work in my gym shorts. I don't want people to see me now. I want my suit, tie, whatever, slacks, button up. So to me, that's not fake. That's just, okay, I'm trying to present myself for the situation, whether it's church, whether it's going out, whatever. The issue is like, I seen an image, you probably saw it too, when J-Lo posted a picture, she didn't have no makeup on, no nothing. I've never seen her without it. I know I don't follow her, nothing like that, so I'm not looking for it, but like, it came up, I'm like, I think, you know what? She puts on her stuff, whatever, performs or out and about. But she said, here's my other side too. So to me, I don't think she's a fake person in how she presents herself. But now that's all we ever see of a person, whether it's, a regular person, famous or whatever. It's like, man, I'm like in my mind thinking like, yeah, she's probably has some fake tendencies that she's hiding something that, she don't want the world to know about. I would consider that fake. So if you want to put on lashes, you want to get implants, you want to do whatever, get plastic surgery. I mean, like, okay, that's just, some people like, that's their thing. I don't agree with a lot of it. I think God made everybody naturally beautiful. That's just my opinion. But if that's what, make you happy, I think you'll find out you're going to need something else after that. But anyway, we digress on that. It's just one of them things that people may need to, want to feel good about themselves.
Yeah, I always think it's interesting because I always hear it from men. I always hear men talk about like, this is the body type that I like, but they'll turn their head for another body type, and that's not all dudes, whatever. Yeah. But I just think it's really interesting because some women do too, but some men like, well, I remember actually being told this because y'all, I'm gonna put on my makeup, and I'm not, like Michael said, at the house maybe not if you cool and you come to the house, but that's just what I want to do. Yeah. But I remember being told straight up. Being told by a pastor. I don't know if I should have said that.
The church.
Yeah.
Condemning you. Okay,
I
go
was
ahead.
told by a pastor that there was somebody that was interested in me from church. But they needed to see me without my makeup on. So I needed to start coming to church without makeup on so that they could see what I looked like.
That's great.
And I remember thinking like, number one, why are they telling you that and you coming to tell me? Yeah. And why do you feel like that would be appropriate? Not that he could have never seen me. I mean, like, if we would have dated, he would have seen me without my makeup on, but because of, like, I just think that's a really interesting way to go about it. Maybe somebody agrees with it. Maybe y'all agree with it out there. I don't know. I thought it was invasive and odd.
That's crazy.
Okay.
No, that's crazy. It's going. I'm gonna call
you
it.
Saw me without my
I wish you would name the pastor who said it so I can tell him that he crazy for even approaching you.
Yeah.
With that. Because why, like, for us, I mean, that doesn't, the image of somebody, like, you want to look at the heart of somebody first, right? And then hopefully at the point you can get to know them in their rareness, right? But like in their rawness rather. It's like that takes time to kind of develop that. Yeah, I'm not going to just say, okay, here I am to every and anybody. And that's either physically, emotionally, spiritually.
Right, that's true.
I'm not going to do it. Like for somebody to ask you to do that, a pastor. So pastors can't be wrong, y'all. You know what I mean? They don't know everything. They make mistakes too.
That's true. And that's actually something I had to get over because I remember thinking like that alone made me feel like, okay, why wouldn't they want to get to know me? Like, why is it like, okay, first I have to see, I don't know. It made me feel some kind of way. And this is a long, long, long time ago. Since then, I still know who the pastor is. I'm just not offended like anymore. But I think that those are, some people do wear makeup because of insecurity on the women's side. They don't feel that they look a particular way without it. But some of us just like it. We like putting it on. We like what we look like with it, whatever. So it's not all about y'all, dudes. Okay. But on that, I have heard that argument before. Like, okay, well, what she look like, you know, if she takes it all off. Like, I don't know that I think that that's necessarily, not that it's not important. Like, yeah, sure, you want to know who you're waking up to. Like, but I think it goes back to what you were saying, that if they never, every time, if you pop up at the house, they won't let you in, you know, maybe you shouldn't pop up at the house depending on how long y'all been together. But, you know, like, yeah, if you, before you walk across the, you know, the I do stage, yeah, maybe you should probably see each other for who you are. But dudes can kind of be doing some things to cover up insecurity too. There are some dudes in the gym that are not there just because they want to be healthy. They there to cover up some insecurity. They there to try to look the part. They doing the most. Some
yeah. I mean, some it's definitely some
fake
dudes out there
for no reason. That's just not my taste. So I don't know.
No, absolutely. I think I mean there's fake men out there. You know what I mean?
But that might not just be dude to dude. It might be like dude to impress the room.
Oh no, that's 100%. Why we think a lot of dudes go get a car? They ain't to impress another dude. They trying to impress women.
I've seen some dudes get cars and they want to show it off to other dudes. Like,
but that ain't the ultimate goal. They not trying to get. I mean, they showing it off. I mean, they may be showing it, but they ain't like the whole goal is like I want a woman to see it. Right? I get the fastest car.
Or just well, I mean, I guess women do that too sometimes. So.
Yeah, I get the fastest car. Try to make the most money, not for another dude. I want to be able to walk into a room and like, yeah, the women take notice. That's just what it is.
So do you think fake equals insecurity?
Fake absolutely equal insecurity in my mind. I mean, I'm saying fake as in like, okay, like literally you're trying to cover up something. You know what I mean? And like I would distinguish between saying, okay, hey, I like nice things. I want a nice car, I want a nice house. Or versus I'm trying to cover up like, hey, I'm lacking in another area. So I use money or cars or makeup or whatever it is to cover that up.
But can you really tell that?
You can. Who do you mean?
I don't know if you can tell from one person that has a nice car because they like cars and another person that likes a car because he wants you to think that they're, you know, whatever status or all of that. Do you think that that's the case? I think insecurity oozes out of people. You can't hide it. It's only a matter of time if you're around them, it's gonna ooze out of like, okay, yeah, they got. How do you think when dudes see a woman, they can like pick up on the woman's securities and they start playing to it? Some dudes are like predators in their mind, not saying this in like sexual way, but like, okay, they run game, we call it, right? And like they pick up on insecurities, like, oh, okay, oh, she needs in here. Okay, baby, you know you're so beautiful because you know what? And he see how she react to that. Oh, okay. That's all I gotta do. I mess up, go, you know what I mean? Do this, that, and the other. Don't call, don't text. All I gotta do, tell her she beautiful, tell her how good she look, and you know what? I'm right back in there. That's, you know what I mean? So like a lot of times, you know, we can pick up on that and play off that. That's a shame.
It is a shame, but I mean, it happens.
Yeah. Okay. Well, last thing I want to ask you about. So when we are looking like in the world, like what's the solution? What's the remedy that in your mind? Like, okay, how do we deal with fake, you know, mentor relationships who are trying to model ourselves after, fake relationships when we're trying to figure out, is this the one? Or if you're already married and you start to see another side of it, or even just fake friends. What do we do? Is there some kind of measure by which we can say, okay, this is how we know?
Yeah, I mean, I think each of us have to start saying, okay, I need to find places where I can be my authentic self. If I don't have any place where I can be my authentic self, you definitely ain't gonna start expanding that to anybody else. So if I can't be my authentic self at home, okay, let's go bigger. I can't be my authentic self at work, but then when I go to church, I can't be authentic. Then when I come home, I can't be authentic. Like you becoming a fake person.
You're trapped.
Your feelings fake. Your ideas are fake. Your thoughts are fake. I mean, people are getting the shell of who you are.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Thank y'all. Thank you, too, for joining us. Make sure you check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Check out our website for more content and resources, FusedMarriages.com. Let's talk about it.
You're listening to Fused with Tristan and Michael.